Oh. I don't know if I've told you, but I'm a bit of a geek. Diesel porn. So I'm at the East Lancashire Railway in Bury in the north of England, famous for its black puddings, and it's a preserved railway. And the reason I've come today is because they've got some of my favourite locomotives, which are some of the diesel trains that were knocking about when I was about 14, 15. And I think in another video I came out as a train spotter. I went around the country, around Britain, looking at these locos, and I love them. And they've got the Class 40s here today, which are just fantastic beasts. And the Class 40s, which I'll show you in a minute, are 2,000 horsepower locomotives that were built by English Electric. For me, proper romantic locomotives. One of them was involved in the Great Train Robbery, when Ronnie Biggs and his gang hijacked a train, and it was going to London carrying all the old banknotes back to the Royal Mint. Ronnie Biggs and his gang hijacked one of these locomotives, unfortunately cost the driver, but it was in a Class 40 that he did that. Anyway, they were built for the West Coast Main Line, and they used to hammer it up from London Euston up to Glasgow, up to Manchester and up to Liverpool. And there was one that went to Holyhead as well, and that train was called the Irish Mail. And I know they say that steam trains are romantic, but for me the diesels are really romantic as well. And some of them have just got their own characteristics, like the Class 40, known as whistlers, because they have like a fan inside them that causes like a whistling noise. Now I'm hoping in a bit that this thing is going to set off, and when it sets off it has to go full throttle, and that's when you get thrash and you get all that plume of smoke coming from the exhaust. And that's what people who are into diesels just absolutely love. Well, one of the things I love about the old diesel locomotives is when you get inside them and have a look, they're a cross between what you'd expect a train, and sometimes they're like a submarine. They're like, or like something you find in the TARDIS with great big wheels and levers and dials and that sort of thing. You just don't see that anymore, you know, in our days of in the days of LCDs and the home button and apps and things like that. These things still retain their original sort of like antique sort of look. So like I say, the handbrake is like a big wheel that you turn. They've still got big levers in them. They've got buttons that actually press, a button for everything. Big dials on them to tell you about pressure gauges and speed and amps and things like that. So there we go, interesting fact for you. So this thing here, this tall thing, you will never see one of those at a railway station anymore, because that thing there is like a water, what can I call it? A water filler, and the hose coming from it is for steam trains, because they have steam trains here. And so this sort of like flappy hose thing here, they put in the top of the tender and they fill the steam trains with water. And they used to be a common sight on the railways around Britain then, but you will not see one anymore, only at a preserved railway station. Fantastic, antique in itself, and the thing behind it is probably a big diesel tank for the diesels. There you go, Semaphore Signals. Now modern day signalling is all lights, and you won't see signals like that anymore. That thing, when it's time to go, goes up like that, and it means the train can go. But yeah, that's called semaphore signalling, and that is now a thing of the past as well, unfortunately, and you'll only find it at a preserved railway station like this. A Class 37 and a Class 40 together. Forgive me if I don't wet myself. So these things were named after the old Cunard liners, and this one's called Andania, and it's got a replica of its original nameplate on. We'll check it out now. And you can see that even though they say that diesels were soulless, I think that's got a lot of soul and a lot of poetry to it, especially when you stick a plate on the front and it's pulling the Irish mail through the night, taking the mail to the Holyhead boat train. Okay, enough with the trains. I could go on all day, but I'll have to stop now. Anyway, I'm also into photography as well, so it's a great place at these heritage railway centres to take some photographs and recreate old-fashioned scenes. So I've got a little slideshow coming up for you as well. Anyway, enjoy the slideshow. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. That was all filmed and photographed at the East Lancashire Railway in Bury in Manchester. Hope you enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it for a day out, and they do Thomas the Tank Engine days for the kids as well. So if you enjoyed the video, I'm Martin0401 on YouTube. Check me out on YouTube, give my videos a thumbs up, and if even better, if you subscribe, that would make my day. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.